Vince McMahon agreed to pay an ex WWE employee $3 million after an alleged affair, according to a report. So, WWE Chairman and CEO Vince McMahon allegedly had an affair with an employee, then agreed to pay her $3 million when she signed a non disclosure agreement, according to a report on Wednesday. Which, by the way, that is a juicy payday, right? Imagine if you got paid $3 million to just not say anything. So the WWE board is now investigating the agreement, which was signed in January 2022, the Wall Street Journal reported, which was this year. Kind of crazy. The investigation has also reportedly uncovered several older agreements related to misconduct claims that other female WWE employees brought against the 76-year-old McMahon and John Laurinaitis, WWE's head of talent relations. Now, this title is kind of like already questionable. WWE's head of talent relations. I got a feeling like basically a lot of people, a lot of chicks probably had to go through this individual to basically get on the good side of McMahon and then ended up getting basically screwed over by both. Possibly. So the WWE board found out about McMahon's recent $3 million agreement after receiving a series of anonymous emails from someone claiming to be a friend of the woman who had an alleged relationship with the WWE chief, according to the journal. And the emails reportedly alleged that McMahon hired the woman as a paralegal at a $100,000 salary, then bumped her pay up to $200,000 after they began a physical relationship. McMahon also gave her like a toy. To Laurinaitis, the reported emails said. That's kind of like, I mean, all of it's not good, but the like giving her like a toy, like gave her like a toy, if that's true, that's dark. My friend was so scared, so she quit after Vince McMahon and lawyer Jerry paid her millions of dollars to shut up, the person who sent the initial email reportedly wrote. The email appears to refer to Jerry McDevitt, who works as McMahon. I think that's McMahon. I don't even know. I don't know. Just say Vince. Vince. Okay. So Vince's attorney and did not respond to requests for comment from the Post. McDevitt wrote in a letter to the Journal that the ex-paralegal hadn't accused McMahon of of harassment and that WWE did not pay any monies to the ex-employee on her departure. The board has reportedly found that Vince used his personal funds to pay ex-employees who signed the agreements. Vince is married to Linda, who co-founded WWE alongside her husband and served as the administrator of the Small Business Administration under President Donald Trump. So, let's see. WWE did not respond to a request for comment from the Post. A company spokesperson told the Journal that McMahon's relationship with the paralegal was consensual. The spokesperson also said that WWE is cooperating with his board's investigation and takes the allegations seriously. Vince's non-disclosure agreement with the 41-year-old ex-paralegal gave her a payment of $1 million upfront and $2 million in additional payments over 5 years, the Journal reported, citing people familiar with the deal. And the WWE's 8 independent directors have reportedly hired a law firm Simpson Thacher and Bartlett LLP to conduct the investigation. Interesting. Let's see. Looks like Vince got put in a chokehold by his PP. How is it possible that in one way or another Trump has to be mentioned in articles? Talk about TDS. Is this Trump's fault? So yeah, I think it's kind of weird that they included Trump in this article because what does any of this have to do with Trump? Like the fact of the matter is, right? You have a very powerful CEO, right? That has the excess cash and position of power to go find someone that would be willing to do that sort of stuff for a bump in pay. And probably was okay with it until he gave her to the other dude. Now, that being said, this is probably something that has been going on for actually a decent amount of time, but then there was some sort of breaking point, and then the individual was like, no, I cannot do this anymore. Maybe they didn't feel safe, who knows? And they were like, no, I need to leave and pay me to shut up or whatever, and I just won't talk about it. The only thing is, the individual hopefully is not the one behind the emails. Because if the former paralegal, the ex paralegal, was behind the emails, they might not be entitled to the rest of the money that they signed for the agreement, which means that basically you might end up getting sued. You might end up having to pay back the money that you already accepted to keep your mouth shut. So it gets into like a really weird legal situation. Like, and also, like, why is the person's friend talking about the person's personal situation as well? Because that friend might potentially end up destroying what she agreed to. So, like, here's the thing, right? Like, that kind of like money could technically help her out for the rest of her life, right? But if she gets into a situation where she's going to have to pay back the money, and also have it known that she was basically the one that had an affair with Vince and also got basically passed around like a toy to other people as well. And for some length of time, she went along with it. Like, that gets into a really weird situation where she has no money. A lot of people probably end up judging her, even though she's probably more so a victim in this situation. It's like there's a lot of things that could end up turning bad for her in this situation if it's actually her friend doing this or her herself sending the emails. Like there's a lot of things that like hopefully she's not actually tied to, because if she is, that really thick payout might be gone forever, right? So she ended up having to deal with so much crap to just end up losing everything, which sucks. Let's see. What's her name? Linda probably clobbered Vince, rightfully so. When will American men learn? You always end up paying. A working girl is far cheaper and less risky over the long run. I'm pretty certain a, in quotes, working girl is illegal. Illegal. So don't go down that route. We're going to have a ladder match to settle this. Now that's a good comment. Mick Scam has a long and sordid history of highly questionable, likely illegal activities. He shall reap as he has sown. Justice shall be served. And here's the thing, like the WWE has a really weird history over the course of its time, which you should like look into if you find it interesting. But they have been involved in so many questionable things that is very interesting. Like it gets into like a really interesting situation. That being said, in terms of marketing and basically being ahead of the curve, they have been front runners in the media industry, basically, in the content creation industry for decades. Well, not decades, but like for years. Years. And to think, Stormy Daniels was willing to take $130,000 from that pig Trump, he got off easy. I'm surprised it has not happened years ago. Dude is a perv. Now, what's also kind of interesting too, right? We're talking about a guy who's in his 70s, who's in his 70s, still working out like a madman, and somehow in 2022 is still able to get it up enough to where he's sleeping with a lady half his age, basically, right? Like, how crazy is that? That your PP, as that one commenter said, still functions at such a high level when you're in your 70s to even be able to do something like this. Like, how crazy is that? Either way, it's not cool that this individual was basically used as a toy, allegedly. Like, it's pretty sad either way. And to be frank, people need to keep like business and the whole like pleasure thing separate. You should not combine the two. And also, if you're a CEO of a company, don't try to hook up with like your employees. It's a moral issue. It's going to be a financial issue. Anything you touch is going to be a financial issue. There's some like risky situations that might end up coming. So like don't get involved in any of that nonsense. So I mean think about it. Like this is like a $3 million very bad choice, basically. If you want to learn how to master your money and get out of debt, go to 40inbucks.com. Stay tuned for monetary commentary.